All right, guys. 2 days ago, I read an article where Dominic Brazil calls Deontay Wilder a disgrace and an embarrassment to American boxing. But I totally forgot to make the video, so I'm going to be making it today. I mean, better late than never, right? In that article, in that piece that I read, Dominic Brazil, first of all, one of the things he says is that if Deontay Wilder were to lose against him, that he would most definitely retire and he would probably go into some type of deep depression. Uh, because I guess he feels that Deontay Wilder is like has a big ego, and that would basically kill his ego to the point that he's like, you know what, I'm going to retire. I don't think he would retire if he were to lose against Dominic Brazil. I think he would get a rematch with him immediately. I think he would more retire. There would be a more likely chance if he were to lose against Anthony Joshua if he were to retire. Because against Joshua, he would have made the most money in his career. And imagine he got knocked out in 2 rounds against Joshua. They're not going to give him that rematch, and he would have made a whole bunch of money. So he could just retire like that. But one of the things that I found interesting is when he said that you know Deontay Wilder is a disgrace to American boxing. And the thing about what I agree with that is I feel that a lot of hardcore American boxing fans feel this way about Deontay Wilder. Because when it came to American, the United States, right? I didn't grow up watching guys like Mike Tyson or Evander Holyfield, none of the great heavyweights, and a lot of American boxing fans from my generation also didn't grow up watching dudes like that. They grew up watching when it came to the heavyweights, guys like Vladimir Klitschko and any American champions. Any American contenders that we did have, they all sucked. Guys like Calvin Brock and freaking Seth Mitchell and freaking even washed up Hasim Rockman. So at least for me, I always felt like I wanted to see another great American heavyweight champion, and I'm pretty sure a lot of American boxing fans felt that way. So when I saw Deontay Wilder come along, I was rooting for him. I wanted him to be that uh, guy. I wanted him to be the next Mike Tyson, the next Evander Holyfield. But it turned me off way before he became a champion. It turned me off the level of opposition because he was fighting dudes that he did not need to be fighting. Especially when you have 30 plus fights. You shouldn't be fighting dudes with 10 losses in your records. And he was fighting dudes with 10 losses in their records. He was fighting dudes that you're supposed to be fighting when you got like 15, 13 fights, pro fights as a professional. And I remember looking at that and seeing him fighting dudes with 10 losses in his record when he was 30 and 0. And I was just comparing him to former heavyweight champions. I was like, look at guys like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was fighting the number one heavyweight in his 19th pro fight. Ali fought Sonny Liston in his 19th pro fight. And I remember comparing that to Deontay Wilder. I said, boy, look at that. Muhammad Ali fought Sonny Liston, the number one heavyweight at the time, the champion, the most, Sonny Liston was knocking guys out left and right. He was a killer. In his 19th pro fight, he was like 21, 22 years old. Yet Deontay Wilder is like nearly 30 years old, and he has 30 plus fights, and he has fought, and at that particular time, he had not fought no one near as good as Sonny Liston. He was fighting bums, and I remember comparing him to guys like Evander Holyfield, who was a champion before his 15th pro fight. And when it came to me, I became embarrassed from that when it came to Wilder. But what embarrassed me the most, and I'm pretty sure a lot of American boxing fans will agree with me. What embarrassed me the most? What embarrassed me the most? And I'm pretty sure most American boxing fans would agree with me when it comes to this. What embarrassed me the most as an American boxing fan is when I saw Anthony Joshua surpass Deontay Wilder. Okay, because when Deontay Wilder won the WBC belt in January of 2015, this man right here, had about 12 professional fights. Yes, Deontay Wilder won the WBC belt in his 32nd professional fight on January 17th, 2015. Anthony Joshua was a pro for about 14 months at the time, and he had about 12 professional fights. I saw Anthony Joshua go on to win the IBF strap, go on to win the WBA strap, go on to win the WBO strap. I saw Anthony Joshua surpass Deontay Wilder. That was the most embarrassing thing for me as an American heavyweight boxing fan. Because how the hell do you let a prospect who had 12 professional fights at the time surpass you when you had 30 fights? How do you let a prospect who had 12 professional fights at the time go on to fight Vladimir Klitschko, a guy that boxing fans were begging you to fight before Anthony Joshua even turned professional? That's crazy. Think about that for a second. Before this guy on the screen, Anthony Joshua, turned pro, boxing fans were hoping and praying that Deontay Wilder were to grow some balls and fight Vladimir Klitschko, because at the time, Wilder had like nearly 30 fights. So the fact that Anthony Joshua, a guy who had 12 professional fights, when Deontay Wilder won the WBC belt, went on to fight Vladimir Klitschko first, then Deontay Wilder. That was such an embarrassment for me as a boxing fan. All right, as an American boxing fan. Because Deontay Wilder was supposed to do that. That was supposed to be Deontay Wilder was supposed to fight Vladimir Klitschko before Anthony Joshua even turned pro. Remember, Anthony Joshua turned pro in October of 2013. At that time, boxing fans were already demanding Deontay Wilder to fight Vladimir Klitschko. Okay? It was so embarrassing for me to see Anthony Joshua surpass Deontay Wilder, not only by becoming a unified champion, but by fighting the guy that everybody was begging him to fight. Okay? That would be like if Daniel DeBise, you know, the prospect that a lot of people are saying is going to be the next big thing. That would be like if in the next year, Daniel DeBise goes on to fight Anthony Joshua and knock him out and become a unified champion. Meanwhile, Deontay Wilder is still the WBC champion. You see how embarrassing that would be? Knowing that Daniel DeBise just turned pro like a year ago? That's literally the same thing that Anthony Joshua did to Deontay Wilder. And for me, it embarrassed me so much because I like to compare former champions. I like to compare former great champions. And just to see guys like, and if you think about it, Anthony Joshua, you could compare Anthony Joshua to guys like Ali way more than you could compare somebody like Deontay Wilder to guys like Ali, because Ali was taking risk. I mean, look at George Foreman. George Foreman won the heavyweight championship of the world in 1973 against a prime Joe Frazier, who at the time was the number one heavyweight. Within a year, he fights the second best heavyweight in the world, which was Ken Norton. Then he fights the third best heavyweight in the world, which was Muhammad Ali. He did all this within a year. Right? Within a year. Yet Deontay Wilder fights one top heavyweight, which is Tyson Fury, in 10 years. In 10 fucking years. His first top 10 heavyweight in 10 years as a professional. Okay? Anthony Joshua was fighting an all-time great in Vladimir Klitschko within 4 years of turning pro. It's embarrassing to me. It just embarrassed me so much when I saw Anthony Joshua surpass Deontay Wilder. Right now, Right now, if you really think about it, right now Anthony Joshua should be challenging for his first title, for his first championship belt, world championship belt. If Deontay Wilder was this great heavyweight champion that everyone claims he is, he would have fought Vladimir Klitschko when he was supposed to fight Vladimir Klitschko in the year 2013, 2014. Won or lost against him, he would have fought him. If he was this supposed great American heavyweight champion, he would have fought, Joseph Parker. He would have fought Vladimir Klitschko for the vacant WBA strap. He would have been a unified champion. Right now, Anthony Joshua would be the challenger to Deontay Wilder if Deontay Wilder was the supposed great champion. Because right now, at 22 fights, this is when you're really supposed to just be challenging for a championship belt in your division. Because what was Deontay Wilder doing at 22 fights? Fighting none but bums. So if you think about it, right now, if Deontay Wilder was this great champion that people claim he is, right now, he would be the unified champion. Right now, everybody would be saying, oh, Anthony Joshua is going to be challenging Deontay Wilder for his unified belts. But that didn't happen. Deontay Wilder sat back. He let a novice like Anthony Joshua surpass him, do all the work for him, because that's what he did. He sat back. He let AJ do all the fucking work for him. And now he's going around claiming that AJ's ducking him. Now he's going around claiming that he's the A side when he wasn't the one who did the work. You get what I'm saying? It was AJ. So I understand what Dominic Brazil. I understand what he says when he says Deontay Wilder's an embarrassment and he's a disgrace to American boxing. Because at least for me, he was an embarrassment for me, and I explained my reasons as to why he was an embarrassment. It absolutely killed me when I saw Deontay Wilder get surpassed by Anthony Joshua. And I'm gonna end the video by saying this: when I first started my channel in late 2017, that was the year that Anthony Joshua surpassed Deontay Wilder and he became a unified champion. I could have easily, just been a biased channel. I could have been like, you know what? Because at the time there was obviously a lot of Deontay Wilder dick riders. So I could have been like, you know what? Let me just be a typical American boxing channel. Be biased. Be like all these American boxing channels. Let me just be an LDBC dude. I could have done that because I noticed a lot of American boxing channels be doing that when they first start out. They put hashtag LDBC. You notice that? You ever look at the small channels, the small boxing channels? They be putting hashtag LDBC. It's like they want to get the attention of the LDBC. I could have done that. But I wanted to keep it real because I was very disappointed when it came to Deontay Wilder as a boxing fan. So I said, you know what? Even though I'm probably going to receive a lot of hate for this, let me just make videos and in my videos, say how I really feel about Deontay Wilder as an American boxing fan. And I received a lot of hate, especially that time. I remember when I first started, there was a bunch of people, didn't like me, because they didn't like my opinion, thumbing down my videos. But I chose to be a non-biased channel when it came to like American boxers because I have to keep. That's just how I truly feel when it comes to. I just, like I said, for the longest time I used to give Deontay Wilder excuses. I used to let it slide. Okay, you know what? He's gonna fight a top contender one day, but I just couldn't take it no more. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just